Hello there, and welcome to episode 3 of my knitting podcast. I have been very excited to show you something new that I'm working on. And it's the thing that I'm sitting here and knitting right now. It is the very beginning of the Elizabeth sweater, which I planned to make in the last episode. I don't know if you watched that or if you remember, but I was so excited to start this, and I started the ribbing pattern here from in the bottom. It is knitted from the bottom up. I started that last week, and just yesterday I started to make this beautiful pattern piece here. And it's quite easy, actually. It's a surprisingly easy pattern. There is a chart with the pattern, which is really simple, very simple. The little chart here that you just have to repeat a couple of times on the front side, only on the front side of the sweater. So, and the rest is made in seed stitch, or some call it linen stitch or moss stitch. It has different names. I personally really love the texture of the seed stitch. In this pattern they call it the seed stitch, and it just has such a beautiful texture. And I will just show you up close what it looks like here on the back, where it is just the moss stitch, and on the front, over just 29 stitches, I am making this beautiful pattern here from the knitting chart. So I am really I can't stop knitting this. It's so much fun to make, and especially because I can really see how beautiful it's turning out to be. The pattern, though, wasn't really super easy. It's also only available in English, as far as I could tell, and I bought it in English. And it is made by Kristin Olsen, which, funny enough, sounds Danish, or maybe Scandinavian at least. So, but I couldn't find the pattern in Danish or Swedish or Norwegian, so I bought it in English. And I don't think it's a very thorough instructions, so I had to improvise a little bit, I have to admit. But I think it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. I am an experienced knitter. I consider myself that now, but I haven't knitted very many patterns, only like 17 or something. So, and not too many in English. And it was only 3 pages, which I think is very little for a big sweater of this with this much complication. So I don't know if I'm missing something, or I printed it out wrong or something, but it feels like something is missing in the pattern. But I will have to check to see if I actually printed out the whole thing, because it seems that some instructions are missing. But I will improvise if needed, and I think it's going to turn out really great. And yeah, so easy. For now it's pretty easy and straightforward. So yeah, I can recommend you to make this. It's so much fun. And you might also have noticed that today I am wearing my what is it called again? My my Dalia sweater, chunky edition, which I was working on in the last episode. And it is now all done, and I am super, super happy with it. Especially the color, which is, I don't know if you can tell, but it is like the exact color of my eyes. This green, blue, gray, dark green, blue, gray color. It just resembles my eyes so well. So I think this color is really, really looks really good on me, if I should say so myself. And as you know, I love making the Dalia sweater. I can almost make it in my sleep. I have made it so many times now. This is the third one that I've made, and I love to make it. But I think if this one goes well, the Elizabeth sweater, that might become one of my new favorites. I forgot to mention that it is going blazingly fast because I am knitting it on 7mm needles, the Elizabeth sweater here. So that makes it just a little bit more fun, I feel. And there's a snow, what is it called? The one who wipes the snow, the machine outside. And we have so much, we have such a big layer of snow outside. We have here in Denmark, we have the coldest winter in 16 years. And we rarely see this much snow for so long as we have here. So it is, I don't go out all that much these days. I try to get out for a little walk once in a while, but it's just so much nicer to sit in here in my cozy living room and knit and be creative and just drink hot tea. Yeah. So I am really starting to look forward to spring. It can't be long now, just a few weeks, and it will be March, which is, we call it a spring month here in Denmark, but sometimes it's not really spring in March. I have experienced a few times that it has been very cold and even snowing in March. So we'll see. I hope that spring is near. I am just like most other Danes, really tired of this cold and snowy weather. Yeah, I made this on the first one I made it on 6mm needles, and I used drops lima and 1 thread of drops lima and 1 thread of drops kid silk. You can always go back to the previous episode if you're curious and you haven't seen it. And I experienced that it shrank a little bit in the wash, and it was actually knitted a little bit too tight. So this one I knitted on 6.5mm needles and a size large. The pattern actually calls for 7mm needles, but I'm also using some yarn that is a little bit thinner than what the pattern recommends. So I knitted in large, this one, and it's become very oversized, which I really, really like. And I used the exact same yarn as for the two previous, also drops lima and drops kid silk. I can just, I'll just see. So these are the colors. Unfortunately, this is this dusty green here. Unfortunately, I have thrown out the labels, so I can't tell you the exact color, but I think there aren't any other colors that looks like this. And then I mixed it with this one, Sage I believe it's called sage green. This lighter, and this is quite a lot lighter than the other one, which gives this sweater a very mottled look. And yeah, so I really like it. Actually, I wasn't sure to begin with if I liked it so much, but now I really love it. I figured so. Yeah, these two together, I could use them again for something else too, because the color is just exactly my color. And also I would use 6.5 millimeters again. I like that it has become so drapey and airy and lightweight, which happens when you use bigger needles, and also when you mix with the kit silk here. It has that effect, which I really like. Some people think it's too scratchy and too tickly on the skin, but you know, big sweaters like this, I usually don't wear next to my skin. I always have a t-shirt underneath, so it does not really bother me all that much. And I actually forgot to mention before, yeah, this lovely Elizabeth sweater, which yarn I used for this. So I'll just show you again. Yeah, so for this I used 2 threads held together of drop knot in color 33. It's like a caramel color 23. What's it? 23, yes. And mixed with 1 thread also held together with the 2 others. So I hold 3 threads together. And this is color number 50, also caramel. And here these 2 colors are so similar that you almost can't sense any color difference in the knitting. You can see here how it looks mixed together. It doesn't give a very mixed or mottled look. It's very one color. It looks very one color. There's a slight noticeable silk thread, which is nice, I think. So this is also not the recommended yarn in the pattern. This is my own choice because I like this yarn, and it's not so expensive, and I like the feel of it. The Dobsno, one of my favorite yarns, also very lightweight. So it gives you a very nice and lightweight sweater here. And because I didn't use the recommended yarn, I also didn't use the recommended needles, which was 8 millimeters. I'm using here 7 millimeters, and therefore I'm making the size large, extra large. So, and I don't mind if it becomes a little oversized. I do not make swatches. I don't like making swatches. I think it wastes my time a little bit, so I'd rather just make an extra large or large, and I don't mind at all if it comes out a little oversized. But usually, if I go up one needle size, I also go up 1 size from medium to large, for example. It usually fits pretty well, so I don't worry too much about it. And yeah, I'm obsessed with this stitch pattern here. It's just lovely. and the sleeves will have the same pattern when I get to that. Yeah, and they will be sewn on in the end. First I make the back and the front together in one piece, and then in the end I sew on the sleeves. So not completely free of assembling work, but pretty much not too much to worry about. The thing I really love about the Dalia sweater here is that it is completely free of assembling, which I usually don't like. But if it's too many pieces of things you have to assemble, that's mostly where I lose patience. But a few sleeves I can put on. It's not a big deal. So yes, and the Elizabeth sweater comes in sizes from 2 times extra small, small medium, large, extra large, 2 times extra large, and 3 times extra large. So it has a wide range of sizes. Yeah. And I also just have a little tea here. And another thing that I finished since the last episode is the No Frills sweater here in this bright purple color. And it is just really delicious, soft, airy, and lightweight and flowy. It is made in merino trend petite from Viking yarn. It is a very thin merino wool, and it is mixed with a 1 thread of drops kid silk. So I really didn't use very much yarn for this big sweater here because I used very thin yarn, and I just love that it's so lightweight and soft. This mix is my new favorite for the thinner sweaters here. So I'll just show you the yarn that I used because I have quite a bit left. I bought 6 skeins of the merino petite, and it was way too much. I only used like 4.5 skeins with 50 grams in it. So here it is, Viking garn from Norway, Norwegian brand. Such a wonderful soft yarn to wear and to work with, and it is, let me see, it's very small. I need my glasses. Yeah, 235 meters per 50 grams. So very, very lightweight yarn, and it was a breeze to work with these two together. This is drops kid silk, 1 thread of each held together to make that sweater. So I loved working with it, and so I bought more to make another sweater. Not the same, but a different one. And yeah, my new favorite mix. I will go back and get this again, for sure, because it was a lot easier to work with than the other yarns that I have used for the same sweater. And this is also the 3rd one that I have made of No Frills sweater. Just a very easy peasy piece. It has German short rows to make a nice round neckline, which I think is very flattering, very appealing. So that's why I often wear these, and I love them. I love this design so much. And to to tell you the truth, I'm actually working on a fourth one of these. I really like to have a easy peasy pattern on the side, just to work on when I'm listening to a podcast, watching a movie, or just sitting and trying to wake up in the morning. It's always good to have a pattern that you really don't have to think about, that you can just sit and knit without even paying attention to what you're doing. So I can pretty much make these in my sleep. Once you've finished the German short rows here, which is only like the first 8 rows or something, then it's so straightforward and easy to make the rest. Yeah. And I also took into the sleeves to make them go from very wide to very slim in the bottom. So I made some increases, decreases. In Danish it's called indtagninger. So I often say increases instead of decreases. But of course I made decreases all the way down the sleeves. And I think they turned out very pretty. Also, when working with this yarn, which has a lot of elasticity in it, it's very easy to get a smooth result. Yeah, a smooth result with not too many open stitches. So I just think it turned out really smooth and beautiful. So good. And this color, not one that I usually wear, but I just felt like a bit of splash of color. You know, I usually just buy brown, gray, off-white, and I get bored with those colors. So I just enjoy a good splash of color once in a while. And I don't care too much about if it suits me or not. Colors make me happy. And I'll wear it. If I like a color, I'll wear it, even if it's baby pink. And people say it doesn't really suit me. I'll wear it because I love it. So, yeah, that's my new attitude anyways. So, let's take a look at, now that we're talking about the no frills sweater, I will show you the fourth one. I have one also in brown, reddish brown. I've been wearing that here on the channel too. And I have one in bright green, apple green, which I have also worn here in my first episode of my knitting podcast. I wore that. And now I am working on one in yellow. So I'll show you that. So here it is, a very bright yellow. And also, this is not a color that I would usually choose. It's not the best color for me, but yeah, the spring makes me obsessed with yellow. I think it's my longing for spring and Easter and the season that's coming that makes me want yellow. Just yeah. So I bought the yarn online. If I had seen it before I bought it in real life, I would not have chosen this color. I'll show you the color of these. So I was a little bit shocked, or surprised I should say, when I saw this, when I opened the bag and saw this color. I thought, oh my god, it's screaming yellow, I can't use that. And I had also bought this light butter colored yellow to mix it with. So these two colors are quite different. So I was really curious to see how it would turn out when mixing these two together. So I made a little test for once and was surprised, positively surprised with the result. As you can see, the brightness of the yellow in this yarn has kind of is toned down when mixing it with the butter colored yellow. So it's quite reasonable now. It's not too screaming yellow as this one is. But yeah, I am not a fan of, I really regret it, not spending a little bit extra and buying this quality here instead of the Drops Floor, because it is not nearly as smooth and easy to work these two together as it was with the two others here together. It is a completely different feel. I don't know. It's because this doesn't have any elasticity and it's maybe a little bit thicker also. So on the 4mm needles, this is not as smooth to work with, and there are more. It's a little bit more unevenly knitted. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not as smooth and pretty as the other one. So for the future, I will remember that and always buy the Merino Petite, the Trend Merino Petite from Viking Yarn when making the No Frills sweater. Such a breeze to work with. Yes. And what more can I say? Yeah, but we'll get through it. And it's always nice to have this easy kind of pattern to work on in the evening, in the morning, before coffee, and when listening to a podcast. Just something you can just work on without even noticing it. So yeah, I've made this quite a few times. This is the fourth one, so it's going quite fast and easy. No problems there. No challenges at all. But it's fun now too. It also got a little boring, so I'm happy to have the Elizabeth sweater, which is more challenging and fun to work on the side. So I will be happy to have finally a yellow sweater. I don't have anything yellow in my closet, so I bet I'll be wearing this a lot in the Easter season, which is coming up soon. Yeah, in April. The 5th of April. Yeah, it's not too far away. And I will show you also the next thing that I finished. I finished 3 sweaters since the last time. This here is the 3rd one that I finished. It is the same pretty much as the gray one that I showed you in my last episode, which I finished in my last episode. I made a few differences. I made it a little bit wider, because I like the wider shapes of my knitwear. And other than that, I made the sleeves a little bit differently. I can't really explain all the little differences I made. But I like to experiment. This was originally made out from the Easy as Knit easy cable sweater from Easy as Knit. That was the starting point of this. I made that sweater a few years ago, if it was not last year, yeah, I made that. Or the year before, 2024, I made that Easy as Knit cable sweater. And I didn't like the neckline. It was there wasn't any short rows, so I didn't like the way it was sitting in the neck. So I decided to make my own version of this sweater and make a round neckline, adding some short rows to the neckline. That was my goal. And yeah, I like to experiment and find new and better ways of making different patterns. And I was very happy with the gray one that I made, even though the color was a little boring. This is probably also a little boring. But, you know, this beige, light beige or off-white, or what you would call it, is a very practical color. It goes with all of my clothes. And yeah, it's very classic sweater in this color, I think. And you know, in a light color, I feel the cables stand out better, and they become the noticeable and interesting thing about the sweater. So the texture is what's supposed to make this sweater not so dull and boring. Whereas the no frills sweater, of course, the colors are the interesting part. And you know, if you find it a little boring, the sweater, I also got the idea, since this doesn't have the most beautiful smooth look, I thought about maybe crocheting some little flowers and made them as an applique all over this yellow sweater, or maybe bees or butterflies or something to make it a little bit more fun. And then I could hide these little holes that are in this. But I'm sure after blocking it will even out and look a lot better. It's not too bad actually. And maybe I can sew them. Where there's one place here, unfortunately, right on the front here, I don't know if you can see, where there is a little bit of a hole, but I could maybe sew that together on the back side. So, and then it would kind of be more even and smooth. But the idea with the butterflies or the honeybees or Easter eggs or whatever, that could also be fun. Or little flowers, appliques all over, that could be fun. Or you could sew some pearls on it all over. Yeah, embroideries. You can do a lot of different things with this very simple and yeah, blank design. You can put your own personal touch on these very, very simplistic sweaters. That could be fun to do that and try that. I could certainly consider that. So we'll see next time if I do that. I'm curious myself a little bit. But yes. So speaking of crocheting, I have also started a crocheting project, quite a big crocheting project, which I regretted again a little bit right after starting, because I didn't really think about how big a project it really is to make a blanket. The project is in my bag here. I put it away because I had other things to do. So let's take a look at what I made so far. Yes. So, and I I'm sorry to say I did not block these squares yet. But yeah, I made a few of these. The plan is to make them in a different variations with these colors, and even buy a more light green also to put in there, and make them all a little different. Not all, but yeah, and make a bedspread. So that will take time. But I have become very interested recently in making home decor because I am moving soon. The 1st of March, on the 1st of March, I am moving to a new apartment. And I am very excited to decorate it. And makes all sorts of beautiful accessories, interior stuff for that new place. I've also been sewing a bit, some cushion covers and stuff. But yeah, why did I start this? It's gonna take forever, and I don't have all that time. But now that I've started it, I do also want to continue because I bought the yarn, and quite a lot of it, for the whole blanket. And this is, yeah, I'll show you the yarn that I got. So these are the 4 colors of Drops Flora, and I am holding 2 strands together, yeah, to not make the squares too small, because then it would take forever to make it. And the colors here are, let's see, yeah, my glasses are here. So the colors are here. Desert Rose, it is color number 30. Yeah, you can, just looks a bit brown here on the screen. It's actually quite nice, dusty rose, light rose color. And then there is this, I believe it was strawberry sorbet or something. It's a mixed color. Color number 24. Yes, and then we have Drops Flora. This one, I believe it's sea green, and it's color number 34. And then I have here color number 23. I don't remember what it's called, this color. And then I will add also the pistachio to give it a little bit more green. I love green. It's a very calming color, and so it's great for the bedroom. So yeah, for a bedspread I will use the green also to give it a little warmth. The pistachio green is a warmer tone, whereas these are quite cold tones. Yeah. And if you are interested in this, if you like this flower pattern here, I have a tutorial on my crocheting channel, Adore Crochet, where you can learn how to make these squares if you would like. Yes. The thing that I'm worried about the most is, of course, all these threads that have to be weaved in the end. And I think I will just have to do it like once in a while, not wait until all 400 squares are done or whatever. Hopefully I won't have to make that many, but we'll see. we'll see. I've never made a bedspread before. I've made blankets, smaller blankets, but this is absolutely the biggest project that I've ever made. So we'll see. Maybe it'll just be a pillow in the end. But we'll see, we'll see. So, yes. And looking forward to trying and making all the different variations of this. It'll be interesting to see how it will look in the end. And what more do we have to show? Oh yes, yeah. So as I was speaking about in my previous video, episode 2, I really want to make a perfect little cardigan because I really always wear cardigans. I love wearing cardigans over my more fancy clothes, my dresses and my shirts, fancy shirts. Great for going out, great for my lessons. I always wear a cardigan over my shirt in my Danish lessons here on the channel too. So I really want to have a good pattern for a perfect cardigan that I can make in all kinds of different colors. So for that project I decided to go with the April cardigan from Petite Knit. And I have bought the yarn already, not the pattern, because I haven't gotten that far yet. Been busy with all the other projects, but the yarn I will show you here. I was inspired by the one that she has on the homepage, and when I bought this yarn, I had already made my experience with this beautiful, wonderful yarn here. I know how I love to work with that, so I bought that again for the cardigan to mix with the Drops Kid Silk. And it has a very similar color to one another, so it's not going to be too mixed and mottled. It's just going to be so nice, I think. So I'm looking forward to getting started with that. It will be a challenge because I've never knitted a cardigan like that, and I believe that difficulty is 4 out of 5 stars. So it's not an easy one, but I think I can do it. There's also all these great tutorials that she has, Petite Knits. So I usually make her patterns pretty effortlessly. They are also very well written, just like Line Holme Samsø, Lynette, which designed this sweater here that I'm wearing. Yeah, and of course those are both Danish knitting designers, so the patterns will be in Danish and easier for me, of course, to follow. So that helps a lot too. So excited for that. And I bought some very fancy buttons also, similar to the ones that are on the cardigan on her website, Petite Knit's website. Let me see if I can find them. Oh yeah, really nice bling buttons here. I think these are probably a little bit smaller than the ones that she has. But let me see, let me just open up and I'll show you. Yeah, very, very fancy bling buttons. Yeah, shining like diamonds. Diamond buttons. Or simile. Rhinestone or simile or whatever you call it. But very pretty. So I think that's all I have for you today. All I have to show you. It's been quite a lot that I've been knitting. It's been knitting weather, so you can say. I've pretty much been snowed in here, so I haven't been doing much other than knitting. Of course, making videos and daily chores and stuff like that. But other than that, I've really been knitting a lot. And it's good. I haven't been bored at all. So now I'm just going to continue my Elizabeth sweater here. I just have not been able to put this thing down. It's been so much fun to make. And I almost didn't even get started with this video today because I was just so hung up in knitting and the hours just kept drifting by. And one row took the next, as they usually do. But now I am going to continue. So, love making the seed stitch. I have to use that more. Also in scarves and hats and pillows, maybe even for my new apartment. I could make a seed stitch pillow for my couch. That could be so nice too. Yeah. And maybe a bedspread. No, not a bedspread. A throw for my sofa. Yeah, a throw for my sofa. In wool, maybe. I better not get too many plans. I also am, planning to make the striped sweaters for my nieces, which I talked about in my last video, because I have a lot of leftovers of delicious yarn that I used for my crocheting tutorials when I did that. But lately I have been thinking about picking up my crocheting channel again. It has really grown in the last couple of months. It's been after a long time where it has been very stagnant. Suddenly it has just picked up. The algorithm is pushing it out. I don't know why, but it's great. So I should probably pay more attention to that channel again and make videos on it again. It's a little bit more fun when people are actually watching the videos and commenting and such. So yeah, but right now knitting has just completely been my obsession and passion. It's like I feel like knitting is better suited for clothes, for wearables. I like to wear knit more than crochet because a crocheted sweater is just very, very heavy and not as elastic and lightweight as a knitted sweater. So I prefer to wear knit. But as for blankets and cushions and home decor, I feel like crochet is better. Also, I have really been using my crochet blankets this winter. As I said, we have the coldest winter in 16 years. So at night I do cover my duvet and my other bedspread with my crochet blankets, because just to keep myself warm. And I don't have heat on in my bedroom. It's not healthy. I've heard it's better to sleep in a cold room, so of course I need blankets to keep myself warm, and I sleep so well with this heavy blanket on my duvet. the heaviness of these crochet blankets really makes you sleep so much better. So that's what I found, and also one of the reasons why I decided to make a big bedspread, crocheted bedspread. And I will probably, I do though regret that I didn't choose a more simple and easy pattern with not as many color changes as this one, because this is going to be just an obscene amount of work to sew all those ends together. Just, I don't know how or when I'm ever going to finish that. But I did spend some money on the yarn, so now I feel very obligated to make it. And I don't know what else to use all that yarn for. Good, so now I am about to start the 29 stitches that I'm going to use the knitting chart. So I will say goodbye for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment down below what was your favorite sweater, what was your favorite part, and what do you aspire to make next. Maybe I have inspired you to make one of the things that I've made here. So have a wonderful rest of the day, have a good sleep, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.